formation, so there's no possible way to attack the artillery with getting hit by something else. I do manage to break through the artillery. By the time I get to them, my men start routing, so that was a short attack. So over here, despite me having an obvious advantage over these Janissary musketeers, they win the battle unassisted. Now he starts firing at my artillery, and they take heavy casualties. Over here, my line infantry starts to fire. I realise they're all bunched up, and they can't get the maximum firepower, so I eventually send them in melee charges. As you can see, they're all bunched up, easy targets for artillery, and they can't get maximum firepower. So I send all this bunch into a melee charge, hopefully breaking through this thin line of men here, reaching them. But because of the distinct advantage, my men being tired from running, and his men fresh, barely out of ammo, and lost very few casualties, I took some heavy losses. So my hand mortar company starts firing these credit rifles, and they don't take too many casualties. And also these Janissary musketeers, so these musketeers are taking a bit more casualties than the Nizam credit rifles, but now he retreats them because he can see the obvious destruction of his men. Over here, this unit of Nizam credit rifles are holding out pretty well, but these musketeers will attack now, and these dudes will retreat. His artillery is still firing untouched, and all my artillery eventually gets destroyed. I try to send my riflemen to actually melee attack into these dudes, but they don't do it for some reason. So anyway, this unit of musketeers just ranked themselves up, and they're doing a pretty good job against my cavalry, considering the numbers they're facing. If you look on the ground, you can see all these dead bodies, but after the battle, you'll see more of mine than his. Or maybe you'll see the opposite. I'm not really sure. But over here, you can see lots of cavalry. Eventually, it retreats, and I chase after the cavalry. I want to break through these lines, but it seems impossible with two lines defending them. Anyway, it's sort of like a mix-up here. Lots of people. General's bodyguard included. Mine. Yep, total mix-up. So, my army starts to get quite weakened. Smothered badly in fire. Cannon fire. Musket fire. And so, my army doesn't last too long. At the end, you'll see a weird type of victory. So, we'll just wait for that. And my general dies. As I showed you just a moment ago, he's in this pile here. The only weakness is, if the Ottoman Empire, they start retreating, they'll immediately go through this line and he can never use them again. So, Lord Cannon he has a slight disadvantage, but he still does a pretty good job. My partner, local warlord within, he's got 3 units of line infantry still approaching, and a lot of these Chira laws have been hit badly. A lot of casualties around here. See all that mess dead bodies there. And he's currently focusing on demolish my Russian army, which is mass routing. At this point I see this is bullshit, because as you can see, it's pretty much impossible for an army that outnumbers him to just start routing randomly. But I guess the artillery did a lot of damage. So at this point I lose all control of my army, and they just run off. But this is Lord Cannon's mistake. He decides to send some troops to chase after my Russian men that still have still enough men to come back from routing. But he shouldn't have, because it's not really far away for men to rout, and it actually makes it harder for him to defeat the French, which eventually wins. Because if he's got half of some of his army chasing after these dudes, and they're not defending here, he's pretty much weakened. Anyway, his general dies. I'm not sure if they actually have a general's bodyguard or not. Where is it? suspect it'll be an Ottoman Empire one. Here it is. So his general died somewhere in this mess. I'm not going to look for it. And he's still holding up a good defense against his artillery, which are doing a lot of damage, and are currently firing at my routing troops. When troops rout, they're usually very tired, but sometimes they're easily caught up with chasing troops. So this unit here, it's actually active, and this unit of 50 is active also, but that one's more frightened and scared, and this one's encouraged. So when the Janissaries approach, they easily slaughter my men. So keep going. Go away, stupid message. And I'm not sure why this unit's running. 28 men. Shouldn't be. And that unit has 12 men. Anyway, if you look over from this point of view, you can see a lot of dead bodies and little men defending the area. He decided to focus more of his men in this area here, but his army's been considerably weakened from the constant bombardment from my army and local warlord within army. Yeah, so Lord Cannon's struggling right now with his artillery, and some of his artillery had to be abandoned, and his cannons are getting hit by now. But these dudes are still firing.